What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, I'm going to be reacting to Sublime and their record 40 Ounces to Freedom. I want to shout out our patron and longtime supporter of the channel, Shane, for suggesting this. Shane won our Reactions to the Classics Fantasy Football League, and as a result, he got to choose a record for us to react to today. And I know Shane's a big Sublime fan. He chose this one, and I'm looking forward to diving in. I really don't know much Sublime. I know one track on here from a tune that Shane suggested for a live stream that we do on Twitch. You can follow us there. Always a good time. And I remember liking it, man. But I'm familiar with the group's name and whatnot. I just haven't ever dove into their work. So all that to say, man, let's get into these quick facts. Let's get into this record, 40 Ounces to Freedom. The debut studio album, released in 1992 by Sublime, has sold over 2 million copies and is one of the highest selling independently released records ever. They would not achieve mainstream success until the release of their self-titled record in 1996, that famous cover where the dude's back is tattooed. That was released 2 months after the death of their lead singer and guitarist Bradley Noel from a heroin overdose at age 28, unfortunately. 40 Ounces to Freedom's sound blended various forms of Jamaican music, including ska, rocksteady, roots reggae, and dub, along with British and American hardcore punk and hip-hop. They recorded this in secrecy at the studios in California State University. Noel recalled, "You weren't supposed to be in there after 9 p.m., but we'd go in at 9:30 and stay until 5 in the morning. We just hide from the security guards. They never knew that we were there. We managed to get $30,000 worth of studio time for free." Gotta be using your head whenever you're an independent artist and don't have the money to go in. I really like that story, man. Just has that kind of punky DIY ethic going with it. Release history: the album was originally released by Skunk Records and then reissued by Gasoline Alley Records and MCA, with a different track listing, removing the song Get Out and the hidden track Rawhide due to copyright issues. Get Out contained unlicensed samples, and Rawhide, which appeared at the end of Date Rape, was an uncredited cover of the theme to the TV series of the same name. Additionally, other unlicensed samples were removed from the songs We're Only Gonna Die for Our Arrogance and Let's Go Get Stoned, and I believe the version on Spotify is that MCA version. So that's what we're doing today, just as an FYI for all you big Sublime fans out there. It's time to get into this. Before we do, though, a little housekeeping. If you like the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. That helps us out here. And be sure to hit that big red subscribe button. We upload every single day here at RTTC. I've got a great community of people. You can check us out on Facebook as well. And if you'd like to have us review a song or a record, you can check out our Patreon page. Shout out to the patrons. We're keeping this channel running. And speaking of that, we have the link that will be down below with the music included. This is a very long record, 70 minutes long. So like to kind of keep the YouTube version shorter, and of course copyright reasons, we take out the music on YouTube. But if you want to check out the record along with me today, you can do that at the link below. But all that to say, let's get started in this, man. Let's get started. We got 22 tracks on here, and we're going to start off with Waiting for My Ruka here. I hope I'm saying that right. So, as always, I'm going to have the lyrics pulled up, and let's get into some Sublime. All right, Waiting for My Ruka coming in, starting us off. Very chilled way to start off the record here, man. Just with that thumping bass in there, and just kind of that basic stripped back drum performance. You have Bradley going in there, just kind of delivering a bit of a monotone-esque like delivery here, describing his Ruka, his gal here who met him. She's lonely. That's what I've been. Here's my telephone number. Call me. She seems to be a bit of a mystery to Bradley here, but she likes the way he moves and raps. I did like that, man. But then she's out there selling oranges on the freeway, and he wants to know, Ramona, am I the only one? Tell me. And yeah, man. So just a little over 2 minutes long. I think kind of easing us into this record here. I liked it for what it was, and now we're gonna go on to next track here, 40 Ounces to Freedom. The title track already coming up at as our second tune here. So let's see Let's see what we got. All right, 40 Ounces to Freedom, the title track. Great name for a record and a song, man. I think we've all been there where we look to our 40 ounces or whatever to to let us escape for a little bit. And that's really what the song is about. First off, talking about his gal, got her hair permed. You got your red dress on. He's out here going in second gear on the car and whatnot, but she'll be gone before too long. They kind of go at it, and then he notes, "But life is one big question when you're staring at the clock, and the answer is always at the liquor store. 40 ounces to freedom." So I'll take that walk, and I know that. Just love that set of lyrics there, and then that guitar comes out of nowhere. The electric guitar really ramps up, gets quite loud, and enjoyed that. But then we go into the more reggae-inspired reggae rock for the verses there before we ramp up again for the chorus. He knows 40 ounces to freedom is the only chance I have to feel good, even though I feel bad. Yeah, man, dug this one, dug the bass in it as well. I'm a big fan of powerful, strong bass lines, and that song had one. I think I'm gonna be liking Sublime sound here. Now we go from 40 ounces to freedom to puffing up, smoking 2 joints. This was originally written by the Toys, who performed it in traditional reggae style and released it in 1983. According to them, they were in Hawaii one day on a small island. 2 of them were sitting under a large tree near a beach, toking on some sweet bud and jamming on a rootsy reggae funky town when they conceived of the track Smoke 2 Joints. And Sublime's version includes samples taken from the film Beyond the Valley of the Dolls, of a bong being used, and of the artist Eazy-E and Just Ice. So that's something interesting to note there. Let's get going. My favorite track up to this point, blending in the great use of sampling here, while also coming in with some very laid back, chill lyricism. I love the start, the bit from Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. That was cool. All 4 of them habitually smoked marijuana, cigarettes, reefers. Then we get into the very chilled out beat that was going on, that reggae inspiration coming through. My man here smoking 2 joints in the morning, smoke 2 joints at night, the afternoon, in times of peace and times of war. Literally saying these joints are here for him, whatever's going on in his life. And then we get the sampling, which was pretty tight, kind of panning in both ears. And then he notes that his dad told him, "Son, you be a hard-working man." Mom said, "Son, you do the best you can." But then one day I met a man who came to me and said, "Hard work good and hard work fine, but first take care of head. You got to be looking out for your mental state." And I think my guy here, rolls 1 or 2 up actually, to take care of his head here, man. And then I like Bradley's guitar work here. Just the little that we've seen up to these first 3 tracks added a little harshness and additional texture to this nice reggae rock tune. So enjoyed this one as well, man. That's definitely going to be in contention for my favorites at the end. And now we're going to go to "We're Only Gonna Die for Our Arrogance" here, as our 4th track gets rocking. Written by frontman Greg Graffin for Bad Religion's debut record How Could Hell Be Any Worse, which was released in '82. The song is often referred to only by the name Gonna Die. The lyrics and title show Graffin's early affinity for biology and evolutionary science. They refer to Richard Leakey and Robert Lewin's book Origins regarding the biological origin and demise of humanity. We have a lot of Bad Religion reactions up here. So interesting that we're going back-to-back coverage here. But hey, man, Smoke 2 Joints was my favorite up to this point. So let's see what they do with a little Bad Religion action here. After being very in that reggae style for the first few tracks, we shift all the way to that punk rock, man, as you would expect from a Bad Religion cover. Just so much energy in this track, man. We're ready to just bang my head and run through a wall, man, and just let loose here. So really enjoy enjoyed that, seeing their differing styles coming in here. Guitar going fast and heavy, and lyrically, as you would expect from a Bad Religion tune. Lyrics coming at you real quick, very heady. Noted early man walked away as modern man took control. Their minds weren't all the same. To conquer was their goal. So he built his empire great, and he slaughtered his own kind. He died a confused man, killed himself with his own mind. And that kind of repeats a lot. A couple times we had the "let's go" phrase in there, where we really just ramp up, and drums are able to just let loose. It's that was another really, really solid cover. Where I'm not familiar with the Bad Religion version, but I can imagine that Sublime put their own little twist on it here, and I do like those final two lines. We're only gonna die from our own arrogance. That's why we might as well take our time. And just that concept. He died a confused man and killed himself with his own mind. The way you just learn more and more knowledge that almost thrusts you into more anxiety and just cynicism and this and that. That's kind of what I was getting from it. But enjoyable tune here. And now we're going to go to Don't Push. Our fifth track here, as we're humming along here, contains lyrics from the Beastie Boys track "Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun." So let's get going. All right, Don't Push coming in here and going back to the reggae kind of ska influences over here, and just a little bit of everything kind of going on in this track lyrically. Got a note though. Shout out Eric Wilson, whose nickname is Cricket. They say we got Cricket with the quickness and the bass line, and I again quite enjoyed the bass line on this track, and I like the notes. If I were Bob Marley, I'd say "Could you be loved?" If I was Mike Tyson, I would look for a fight. If I was the King Ad Rock, I would get stupid dumb. Which again, that was kind of cool because shouting out the Beastie Boys there, and then later on they sampled the line from one of their tunes, which was tight, man, which was tight. And then the chorus noting, "Oh well, the bars are always open and the time is always right, and if God's good word goes unspoken, the music goes up all night." Just a pleasant vibe and an atmosphere. And then as we kind of go a little more, they name check themselves. When you're down with Sublime, you'll get funky, fresh hits, and then kind of the guitar ramped up there. But then we also get a little more deep conversation with "Stolen from an African Land." I was chased out of the bar. I saw my best friend tonight, so don't push me too far. So that's where we kind of get him bucking up a little bit, and of course the name of the track. So all in all, man, another enjoyable tune, man. Kind of liked at the end too, the panning effects that were used; those were pretty cool, and just the way the lyrics were going rapid fire in that reggae style. So now we're gonna go to next 5446. That's my number / ball and chain. This is the cover. The first part is a cover of the Toots and the Maytals song. 5446 was my number, and then the second part is Sublime's own track, "Ball and Chain." This is one that I know Shane brought us on a live stream one time, and I remember enjoying it. The first part describes Toots' time in prison after being arrested for the possession of marijuana. So that's what you gotta have in mind listening to the Toots and the Maytals cover here of 5446. That's my number. Let's get it. 5446, that's my number. The Toots and the Maytals cover with a "Ball and Chain," Sublime's original tune. A little two for one action here, man. Starting off with "That's My Number." I thought it was solid, man. Thought that they played the reggae pretty close, probably to what Toots' version was. I believe I've heard Toots' version only one other time though, so I can't recall it off the top of my head.
what we had, but especially in that second verse, it was really spitting in there. Say Boop says me wants to take off her dress, huh? Say Boop says I've kissed and caressed. It had that sexual energy kind of in that first part there that was felt, and then we get into Ball and Chain, man, which was maybe my favorite if you want to call it a song over here up to this point, man. Those horns so energetic, just breathe life into it, and I like what Bradley was having to say. He cues us in at the start. People, listen up, don't stand too near. I've got something that you all should hear. All the lies they told me form a little part of history. Talking about just what society's been like. Boy meets girl, they fall in love, get married, have a kid, a sweet baby's on the way, kiss him on the cheek, and life's okay. Bradley recognizes that, man, that's not how his life is. That's not how a lot of our lives are in the modern day world, and we get the whole ball and chain, your spouse there coming into play in the lyricism as well. He notes that holy matrimony is not for me, rather die alone in misery, because hey, man, he's this is his life. Bradley's gonna live it, and some people just it takes them a bit to find somebody, or maybe they don't even care to find somebody else. Man, that's always cool too. And then he notes that marriage doesn't work in the world today. It's an institution that is in decay. You look at the divorce rates, and that kind of backs up what Bradley's saying. And if I have love I wish to betray, I will surely find another way. And then we get just a little punk flair in those last 20 seconds. Sublime, you never know what you're going to get, always keeping you on the edge of your toes. And now we're going to go to the track Badfish, which was originally released on their demo tape a year prior. And the melody of the song is heavily inspired by All the Fun That We Miss by the Ziggins. So let's get to it. Wow, Badfish coming in, man. Sublime just keeps outdoing themselves from track to track. This might have been my favorite up to this point. Definitely got to hit that hard on Spotify here for this one. People say that a badfish is somebody that turns another person onto heroin. So if you go from that perspective and knowing how Bradley's life unfortunately ended, man, this is almost a bit prophetic in a sense, but musically, man, very laid back vibes coming in here. Definitely enjoyed that. And then we had a cool, I don't know what effect was put on the guitar solo at the end, but I really enjoyed that. Again, Bradley showcasing the differing sounds he could get out of that guitar, man. The play on words with Badfish and then like reef in here, obviously reef slang for marijuana. Lord knows I'm weak, won't somebody get me off of this reef? But that with the whole Badfish marine type of thing, I thought that was cool. Talking later, baby, you're a big blue whale, grab the reef when all duck diving fails. I swim, but I wish I never learned. The water's too polluted with germs. Maybe he wishes he never had learned the heroin or the drug lifestyle. He notes, though, ain't got no quarrels with God, ain't got no time to grow old, which, looking back, man, really was prophetic. Lord knows I'm weak, won't somebody get me off this reef? Whew. Powerful song, man. And again, that bass line was big time by Eric Wilson there. And now we're gonna go to Let's Get Stoned. This one 3.5 minutes long, and I'm presuming the drug use metaphors will continue to be heavy-handed here. All right, let's go get stoned coming in here, man. Again, showcasing the expert use of sampling coming in. We had the whole "Kick It" by the Beastie Boys at the very, very last second there. Had some Public Enemy with the rhythm, the Rebel Without a Pause, one of my favorite Public Enemy tracks. And then we had the the sample from NWA, Just Don't Bite It, on here, which was a bit humorous. This guy, kind of a bit paranoid, he had in a dream, made him sick, saw his girl who we get in the intro, he swears sometimes she's a whore. She's, let's just say, pleasuring somebody else here. And his friends, man, they're just laughing at him on this. And it seems he was he might have been paranoid for a right reason. And so again, very laid back in those first couple verses, man. But then that last minute, do another left turn here and showcase some muddy production style, and then let the guitar work with a bunch of I've seen pedal effects come in so smooth, man. Again, Bradley impressing me with the guitar work that he's got going here, man. Really, really tight. So yeah, another good song, man. I've been impressed with this record so far. I really have been. And now we're gonna go to the track "New Thrash" up here. It's only a minute and 30 seconds. They got the words "There ain't no life nowhere" can be heard in the background, a reference to the Jimi Hendrix Experience song "I Don't Live Today," where the same words can be heard. Love that record, man. Big Jimi fan here. So let's see what we got. Obviously, very very punky as we got into it, which fits the only minute and a half runtime with it. A solid tune. I don't got too much more to add with it. I did like the drum solo that we got at the very end, and it did a good job making me feel like I was in some maybe a dingy club or something. As I've been in my life, dingy little venues here where punk bands are performing, man. So kind of harken me back to that, man. And again, showing Bradley's vocal versatility, I guess you could say, being able to switch from the reggae and the rock and to go into the punk. And so cool little tight, short and sweet tune there. And then now we're going to go to, I actually know this track as well, both the original by the Grateful Dead and the cover version that we got, Scarlet Begonias here. So let's get going. It also samples James Brown, Funky Drummer, prominently, and features a rapped interlude written by Bradley Noel. So let's get it. Scarlet Begonias coming in, cover of Grateful Dead, but they kind of switch it up here from the Grateful Dead version, where in that version they end up breaking up, and here Scarlet, man, gosh, she was an informant. Ratting our guy out all along, but this man had a laundry list. They sold mushroom tea, ecstasy, nitrous, opium, acid, heroin, PCP, and now I hear the police coming after me. The one Scarlet with the flowers in her hair, she's got the police coming after me. He notes, I had to learn the hard way just to let her pass by. Man. Cool, tight cover version. This is what I like my cover songs to do, and they've done it with all the songs they covered thus far. They pay respect and homage to it, and yet they do it in their own style, their own way. And Sublime showcasing that here by adding that little rap verse in there, and kind of taking the story in a different, and I think for my money, a bit of a cooler direction here, more interesting at least. So very solid tune here. And now we're gonna go to Live at Ease. Only 3 minutes long, man. A lot of these songs I'm liking, in that 3 minute range. It keeps the album fresh. We've had a lot of different sounds up to this point as well. So let's get going with this one. All right, Live at Ease coming in here, man, and I think this works perfect in the track listing, square in the middle of the record here. A bit of a humorous track. It seems like they were just kind of having fun with this one. This won't end up among my favorites. I wasn't a huge fan of the rapping by old Marshall Goodman in here, who's predominantly on drums on a lot of these, also does some turntables and whatnot. But man, they were having such a good time. You even had I like the kick to old Eric Wilson, the bassist in here, saying, "My name is Eric. I have nothing to say because I'm not an effing DJ. And if you want to come talk to me, then you got to talk to my man Bradley." You could even hear him laughing in the song as well, man. So just a good time coming. Favorite part was definitely that guitar solo. I didn't expect it, but Sublime just throws those in there at times you don't expect. And, it ends up working more times than not. And so now we're going to go to the track DJs, which contain a lyric from Bob Marley's track Ride Natty Ride. And also closes with lyrics from the Dandy Livingstone song Rudy, A Message for You, which was popularized by the Specials, another band often credited as a Sublime influence. So let's get to it. All right, DJs coming in here, and man, one of the most infectious tracks. One of those songs that I think is gonna kind of get stuck in my head. Again, shout out to the groove here, man. The bass line by Wilson was again quite strong, and maybe the catchiest part of any tune thus far is that, "Oh, but there ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing right, and still I sit and lie awake at night."
really enjoyed the way Bradley was able to deliver his lines on this one, and just kind of his cadence, the way he was going. Huge reggae flavor and inspiration, of course, yet again. Cool, some nice one-liners in here as well. Little competition comes my way, but it always winds up the same. Oh, but the stone that the builder refused shall be the head cornerstone. Reminds me of the quote Jesus said whenever he said that in the Bible, essentially meaning that, hey, the people, or the person that somebody rejected is one day going to be at the top, essentially. And I think that's what Bradley's saying in his career. And judging by the success of this record, man, I don't think he was wrong in that one. And then, just taking shots at some of these punk DJs, man. So I like this one. It was very it had a very good vibe to it, man. And we're gonna hopefully keep the good vibes going with Chica Me Tipo. All right, Chica Me Tipo coming in here, all in Spanish besides those last couple lines. I have a rough translation up here with it, and apparently he's getting with this girl who's a hooker, and she's really capturing his eye. But one of the lines in here: when we started, I didn't realize that you would make me pay. So I guess he didn't realize that this gal here was, making her living in that regard, man. Only English lines we get at the very end. I've got to get off with you. Whoa, what can I do? I would lay down any time with her. Musically, kind of middle of the road. It's some interesting stuff with the guitar towards the end. I mean, an inoffensive track, musically. It didn't really stand out to my ears, man. But, yet again, they're throwing a different kind of, wrench into this record, showcasing the Spanish here, which again, that's kind of tight, man. I like that. And now we're gonna go to the track Right Back. This was one that the story just kind of gripped me in right away. Sleeping by yourself at night can make you feel alone. Your girlfriend said so. So I'm like, okay, Bradley's really out here, man. He said, but I don't really know. That don't mean we effed around that night last week when you left town, which I think is definitely him being a little cheeky there. I definitely think Bradley was up to some nighttime activities there. And then he kind of gets some serious drug references. Was tweaking by myself one night. That's when I wrote this tune. Didn't have no need for that bed in my hotel room. Sometime right now since I've left the pen, feels like I'm right back there again. Then he notes, or later on, I bought myself a gun and I'm right back where I'm from. And then he's sleeping, his girlfriend says sleeping by yourself at night can make you feel so alone. But then he calls his girlfriend a hoe as well. So man, Bradley seems to be in this song in some tough situations. I need to use him as a case study here from my counseling. We got a lot of stuff to deal with here, Bradley. But no, man, I enjoyed this track. I think we got kind of back on track after Chica kind of didn't really hit for me, but this one did, man. I enjoyed that one. Good drumming performance as well. And now we're gonna go to the track "What Happened," which samples some BB King. So I read. So let's get it. What happened coming in here as Bradley details a quite a wild night here. Musically had some cool horn section, a little bossa nova influenced. Had a little Latin flavor to it, and man, he sounded like me. Wake up in the morning, but then the next line, clock says 1:30. I'm a night owl and a late riser myself, and hey man, 1:30 in the afternoon. That's still morning for me as well. So you just building that scene of oh man, what happened last night kind of reminds me of the movie The Hangover a little bit. Then we had a couple just like mini guitar sections in there where again we ramped up the tempo and whatnot. I again like the guitar solos. You know me, I'm a broken record here. He notes he remembers chilling at a party, being a little debaucherous. He wakes up, his friends hate him. He doesn't even know why. He has a gal too, and she may be an angel, she may be a queen. He doesn't even know though. He doesn't even know her, man. The girl that is with him in his bed. So yeah, man, just
kind of gets to the heart of just that party type of atmosphere that Sublime's kind of got running through their veins, so to speak. And now we are going to the track New Song here. New Song. All right, coming in with New Song here. Wow, really personal track to Bradley here, and it's detailing out his heroin use. And it's interesting, some of these lyrics, kind of point back to God at points. That inner turmoil, man, of going in, doing the drugs, and yet also he notes, glory please at God. The only thing on my mind takes up all my time. And I said, oh, we don't really know what's all on his mind. But then as the song progresses here, he says, kind of that same refrain, glory please at God, coming from heaven above, takes up all my time. So I don't know if he's saying now God's taking up all his time, or now that he's trying to move on from heroin. I'm not sure, man, or if, hey, heroin's continuing to take up all this time. Whatever the case may be, man, Bradley goes through here, talks about how it hurts to get so low, searching through his car, noting that though that it makes him more creative whenever he's using, and that's. And I see his dad here kind of said the same thing. That was one of the reasons that Bradley did use it. He knows all the DJs do it, all the DJs use it. I would run, I would switch, but I want to be the same. Very introspective track right here. And I still don't know what I think of the vocal technique. I'm kind of leaning towards liking it. It just took me a little bit to get used to, just since it was so treated and quieter in the mix, man. But again, another unique wrench they're gonna throw in there. Not everything might work for everybody, but they're at least doing a little switcheroo. And oddly enough, he kind of sounded a little bit like, due to the vocal treatment, a little like George Michael to me. I don't know if that's just me, but hey, man. I dug that one. And now we're going to go to the track Ebin. Again, another very unique subject matter coming in here. I'm seeing too at the side, Ebin is actually named after a former classmate of Bradley's from UC Santa Cruz. The song, though, is entirely fictional. Thankfully, Ebin wasn't actually a Nazi here. He was actually Jewish, which, again, just throws another wrench in the whole story here. Ebin was initially not a fan of the song, I would imagine, but he admired Bradley's voice and eventually became a fan of Sublime and even grew to like the song Ebin here. And it just starts off describing this Ebin character, a coolie guy that I used to know, but now he's cold kicking it live with the KKK, and we continue to build up his backstory. He was a drug dealer. He had a pistol in his pocket, bottle of booze, got caught, went to jail, but he got out of jail. Now it's plain to see my friend Ebin is a Nazi. He was a Nazi, yeah. Then we figure out he made a deal with the CIA, and Bradley isn't a fan of that, being a rat in that regard, man. So again, pretty cool solo too towards the end there. Yet again, the voice was a little bit more subdued, kind of back in the mix. Not as much as our previous track, but still back there a little bit, man. And again, quite a unique one. This is one you'll remember just for its subject matter, man. And again, I enjoyed it. And now we're gonna go to yet another provocative tune and title. We have Date Rape here. It was the first released as a single in 1991. Didn't become a hit until 4 years later when the LA radio station KROQ began adding it into their playlist, and it quickly became one of their most requested songs. Songs about a woman who gets date raped by a man who in return gets raped while in prison. The band almost didn't include it on the album as they felt it was one of their worst songs. Interesting. So, man, Sublime just keeping the interesting topics coming in here. Let's see what we got. All right, Date Rape coming in here, man, and wow, a lot of packed into this track here. Just starting off musically, again, nothing that like blew me away musically, but here the whole highlight is on the story being told here, and setting that scene that unfortunately so so many women have experience with. This girl was alone. Then you have this guy come up, described as having a double chin and a plastic smile. They end up having he buys her a drink. One drink turned into 3 or 4. Then they drive away in his brand new car. And then we get going, and it goes real far. Says, now babe, the time has come, how'd you like to have a little fun? She's not having it, but he had his way. She said, let's go. He said, no way. And man, then we get the line, if it wasn't for date rape, I'd never get laid. What a just makes your stomach churn, man. And then we get a solo in there. Then thankfully he gets hit. He gets hit in the head. He takes her back to the bar. She throws a rock at him, gives him a scar, and then thankfully he got got taken to court. Judge knew that this guy was full of it. Gives him 25 years, and then he in turn gets taken by a large inmate, screaming, but the guards are not paying him any attention. Then he kind of flips it. We go into that's when things get out of control. Where it was out of control for the poor girl earlier, now it's out of control for him, but nobody's going to be here to stop him. We get kind of the theme that I think Sublime was going for. The moral of the date rape story: it does not pay to be drunk and horny. I can't take pity on men of his kind, even though he now takes it in the behind. Wow, man, just you gotta have some cojones to put out a song like this. It kind of reminds me of when Nirvana put out the track "Rape Me" on In Utero, which again is going against the just monsters of men. But whenever you name a song like that, it definitely gets people's attention. And hey, man, it sure did mine too. But I kind of like how they were able to weave that story together, and a little interesting doing it with kind of the more upbeat music in the background. Now we're going to another cover from the Descendants here with the song "Hope." We got 4 songs left, so let's get it. All right, Hope coming in here, short and sweet punk cover of the Descendants track of the same name. Of course, easy comparison is to "We're Only Gonna Die for Our Arrogance," that they did way earlier in track number 4. Like whenever we go a little punky, I'm a big fan of punk music. I already noted that, and again, like that here, seems like we got a girl that this guy's really infatuated with, but she's going with another guy here. He says, though, but I know my day will come. I know someday I'll be the only one. He's kind of waiting it out, kind of thinking of the worst of what's going to happen in this relationship. And yeah, man, just a nice, propulsive, upbeat tune here. And now we're going to go to KRS-One. All right, KRS-One, one of the OGs of hip-hop, man, and a cool little tribute to him. I like what Sublime is doing on here, man, and kind of relatable for a fellow white guy like me, man. Hip-hop really is helped shine a light, man, on a lot of issues that don't affect me. Where Bradley was influenced by someone like KRS-One, I was influenced growing up by Kendrick Lamar. I know Shane's a big fan of him as well. So that's kind of my generation's, or at least my personal kind of KRS-One in here. And so I just thought this was a really cool tribute. The way they had that just beautiful melody in the background with the acoustic guitar going, and then mixed it kind of with the turntables going in, even sampling some KRS-One. I thought that was really tight. So man, shout out to Sublime on that one. And we're gonna go now to another cover here. We got Rivers of Babylon, and this was a song recorded by Brent Doe and Trevor McNaughton of the Jamaican reggae group the Melodians in 1970. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. And lyrics are adapted from the text of Psalm 19 and 137. It was repopularized in Europe by the 1978 Boney M cover version, which was awarded a platinum disc. It was one of the top 10 all-time best-selling singles in the UK. Well, shout out. Well, let's see what Sublime does with it. All right, Rivers of Babylon coming in there.
very probably our most subdued track on this whole record up to this point. Just some again very pretty acoustic guitar strumming in there, and again just lifting lines straight from the Psalms, man. And man, I just thought it was tight. Thought it was relaxing, and just putting lyrically, just since it's taken right from the Psalms, talking about whenever the Israelites were exiled to Babylon, man, and they're there and they're remembering Zion. They're remembering their better glorious days, man. So I like this. Yet again, another left turn, I guess you'd say, here by Sublime, putting in a different type of track than what you would think that they would do on the surface, man. So many different types of styles on this record. And now we're going to end it off, y'all, with the track Thanks. And then after that, I'll give my favorite tracks and overall score of the record. All right, man. Thanks. I mean, I view this track just almost like a movie end credit scene, man. Everybody just getting the shout out here. Just it was over a cool little beat. I mean, I don't really have much more to say about it, man. But everybody getting a shout out here from freaking Miles Davis and Bob Marley and Jimi Hendrix, Frank Zappa, Fugazi. Man, Bob Marley, he shouted out, of course, the Toys, and then just people personal to the band, roadies, people that helped them along the way. So that was tight, man. That was tight. And now, hey, man, time for favorite tracks. There's a lot of tracks on here. We went through 22, y'all. We did it, man, and there was a lot to like here on 40 Ounces to Freedom. I'm going to go with just some of my favorites. Smoke Two Joints. We're going to go with the 5446, that's my number, /Ball and Chain. That was a cool little medley. Badfish was tight. I like New Song. That was pretty like introspective for Bradley. So I appreciated that. Date Rape, just for just kind of how provocative it was and how it was able to weave the story together was tight. I like the shout out to KRS-One. That was really solid too. Man, as I'm going through, there's a lot of tracks on here that I enjoyed, man. So that'll take us now to overall score of the record. And man, I gotta say, there's not a lot of tracks on here that I didn't really vibe with. There was maybe 2 or 3 that I wasn't feeling. And for 22 tracks for a record that is an hour and 9 minutes, man, it did a fantastic job of switching up, going from the reggae to the reggae rock to throwing in the hardcore punk scene in there, to at the very end kind of throwing it way back just with the acoustic guitar chilling out. So they switched up the styles, which is good because that's what you need with 22 songs. Also with 22 songs, the longest song on here was maybe 5 minutes, and there were a couple in the 4s. Everything else was 3 or 2.5 minutes, somewhere in there. So that, I think, helped it to keep the record fresh as we moved from sound to sound. Helped that listener fatigue a little bit. Could you have trimmed off 10, 15 minutes? I'm sure you could have, but as it stands, man, I think they did a great job with the track listing, and musicianship was really tight. And I like that they wore their influences on their sleeves, man, covered some of their favorite groups, and yet made it their own in the process, which is another thing I respect. So all that to say, man, really, really good record. I'm going an 8 out of 10 for all the reasons mentioned above. There's definitely some tracks here I'm going to pull out, put on my playlist, man, vibe with, and man, shout out R.I.P. to Bradley, and man, shout out to Shane for bringing this record to me, man, getting me introduced to Sublime, throwing me in the deep end here, and I enjoyed it. And I would, of course, love to hear y'all's thoughts on 40 Ounces to Freedom and Sublime as a whole. Let me know your favorite tracks in the comments down below. Be sure to give Shane some love as well. And until next time, y'all, I'm out of here. Thanks so much for watching. Happy listening, and I will see ya.